Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Coffee, Tea, You and Me. It's so good to see you, so good to be here. Welcome to a brand new year. This is our first show in 2025, and we are continuing our ongoing mission to help entrepreneurs and business leaders to grow their business, grow their platforms, create more opportunities, and do all those amazing things that business owners and business professionals want to do. I'm going to see if I can turn my music down. There we go. And get started with the show. Guys, I hope you guys are having a great start of your new year so far. I am having a fantastic time. I'm coming off of a wonderful Christmas, a great Kwanzaa celebration, and I am so looking forward to putting our best into everything that we deliver for this year. I'm looking for great things to happen in 2025, updated websites, brand new business processes, brand new associates and opportunities are going to be coming our way in 2025. And guess what? You guys are going to be in for the total ride. And I'm so glad to have you with us. Today's program is super special. Like all of our programs are super special. We are expanding and developing new approaches to the RAP approach. The RAP approach is a system that I created years ago in corporate development and training and helping entrepreneurs and business leaders create an environment around them that is friendly and warm, so positive and supportive to get rid of and deal with all of the issues related to people not having a great experience at work, within their associations, in board meetings, in places where they connect and work together. Now, you know, I'm the 9-step guru, right? So I created the 9-step program, and it's all about developing expert professional relationships and making sure those relationships have what they need to take off and to flourish. Today's no different. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're finishing out the RAP approach. The RAP approach is something that we started. We're in section number 11 today, and we started this over 12 weeks ago, talking about, what do we need to do to make sure the people around us feel the benefits of respect, affection, and praise. Yes, RAP is an acronym. It stands for respect, affection, and praise. Now, today we're taking a leap into that last leg. We already talked about respect and how you share it, how you should share it, what goes on with it, how it works within you from a spiritual point of view, how it manufactures a certain level of chemical responses in your world, and how all those things benefit each other when you deal with collaborators or people who might want to be stakeholders in your business and your environment. We talked about affection the same way. And now we're going to get into a praise. Right? Praise when you think about it, is really, really a special opportunity, right? And when you understand and use praise correctly in everywhere you are, where you interact with people, you learn how to master this special technique, then you can create an environment which is magical. And I'm not going to bore you with a whole bunch of details. I'm going to jump right in today. And I'm going to read from you a new article that I just created. And this is about the power of authentic praise. In fact, it's called Take an Authentic Praise Break. There are a couple key ideas and people that I want to share with you. And one of the wisdom producers that I want to share with you is Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi said, praise is the purpose of champions. So what do you think he meant by that? Coach Lombardi is famous for creating championship and winning teams, right? And so when he says that praise is the breakfast of champions, what do you think he meant by that? I think he meant, and I'm going to interpret those words, which I think are powerful, as the first thing you should think about, first thing you should do every morning before you interact with anybody is ask yourself the question, who whose day can I brighten today? Whose day can I give and contribute a meaningful thought or a meaningful word or a passionate idea that will help them become better at what they do? Because I need them to eat that for breakfast. I need them to have that when the first interaction they have or the first phone call they accept right up front every day needs to be one of cheer, of happiness and joy, and creates that spirit of bonding and opportunity for them, right? This is super important, right? Because if you start your day off on a positive note, if you're able to transfer positive energy to somebody right up front, then they have a great chance to have an amazing day, right? They can start their day off amazing because you've helped them do so by giving them authentic praise. William James says, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. We all need it. We all need appreciation. We all need affection. We all need to be tapped into something that's bigger than ourselves and that comes from our connections and our relationships with other people. Did you know that authentic praise can dramatically improve the experience that people have with any environment and will help them thrive? The people that you work with, the people that you're associated with, people that you bond with, that you have warm feelings of admiration and approval, these things make a big difference for team members in how they get to be in any place, in any space. You know, there's people maybe in your life that you may experience who, when they walk in the room, the energy changes because they have so much of a positive vibe that they share, so much of a greatness that kind of comes from within and expresses itself outside of them. It's because they've mastered some things that we've shared with you over the last few weeks. And today, we're going to share with you specifics of authentic praise, right? How can you become one of those persons? How frequently do you take the time to offer authentic praise to those who have meant so much to your ability to move forward and enjoy the environment that you're in? I mean, really think about it. Does anybody really get enough attention? Now, I have to say at this point, if I'm being honest, I don't always compliment people, especially publicly, um, as much as I probably should. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm an ogre or I don't think about people or people don't mean anything to me. I just don't often think to consciously seek to fully express my gratitude with any form of flattery or tribute. And quite frankly, when I grew up, this is not something that I was taught the importance of doing. And so because of that, I'm not naturally good at expressing that idea. But I do believe and I do understand that it's something that we all can get better at, and making sure that by no means will someone assume that you're ungrateful or that you are disconnected from their reality. You don't want to take the time to understand or be amongst or around them because you're just so busy, right? Now I know that we all tend to make these excuses, and I'm no different, right? It's I don't have time to put this much effort and energy into the people that I work with. I don't have time to think about them and ask myself the question, well, what have they done that I truly appreciate? What have they done that I truly that have made my life better and work best for me? And how do I share that with them in a meaningful and powerful way so that it makes a difference to them? I let you know earlier, we need that appreciation. We need that solid understanding that we matter from our colleagues and friends and associates and leaders and everybody we get a chance to work with. So it's important. When I was researching and creating the rap approach, it kind of forced me to change my attitude and practice authentic praise much more than I ever would normally with stakeholders, clients, referral sources, and team members. And I have to tell you, benefits of doing this well and the benefits of getting this right far outweigh the time it takes to execute a conscious and committed practice. Let me repeat, the benefits of doing this well far outweigh the time it takes to learn, execute, practice a conscious and committed strategy that will help you show increasingly more kindness and compassion with those that you have the privilege of working with, touching their lives, being a part of their environment. It just matters so much more. And my friend Frances, and I'm going to tell you her story in a second, really learned about the magic of authentic praise. Let me tell you about Frances. Frances is probably one of the most powerful orthodontists in the area. She had a flooring flourishing practice, and she did such amazing business. She had a great team of experts and people that work with her. However, it wasn't until she was about 42 years old that she started to truly understand the power of authentic praise. And after she got it, with good practice and good intention, her career, her life, her business began to transform in unexpected and wonderful ways. She's a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And she had been going to the chamber meetings for years with this diverse group of professionals, a small group of business owners, and even corporate leaders were showing up to the chamber meetings. And they would get together and they would exchange pleasantries and they would talk about what's going on in business of the day. And usually it was a great networking opportunity. But Frances would usually approach it from a backseat point of view. She liked to be the person in the room, but not a person who was fully engaged in what was going on in the room. And so she would just kind of sit back and let others do things and say things, and then she would learn every once in a while. She'll take a note of some things that she thought was interesting. But pretty much, she went to the events, she went to the chamber functions, she went to chamber, but she never decided to stick her toe in the water and start to build authentic and brilliant relationships with other professionals. She just thought, she could learn something from the chamber and learn something passively, from just being in the environment. And she wasn't wrong. However, she met this guy, Mark, at one of the functions, and the conversations that she got into with Mark began to change into something that she truly was excited and interested in. When that conversation, as they delved deeper into the topic, really was about authentic praise. How he used it. Mark's perspective was that it's one of the most important tool in the leadership toolbox. He spoke very passionately about authentic praise and how he used it, right? He shared stories of how people in his organization began to genuinely recognize one another. And he talked about how it transformed the business, the morale, the productivity. Everything around them began to dramatically improve. All things that you measure for the business success began to have a dramatic approval, dramatic because they were just introducing more ways to share authentic praise. Well, Frances was, of course, intrigued. And of course, she asked more leading questions that were very spirited, and they began to have discussions about the social psychological research on the particular topic. Well, Mark then explained, and this is a direct quote from him: "When praise is sincere, timely, and specific, it can significantly enhance an individual's motivation and job satisfaction. It's not just about saying good job, but about really seeing and appreciating the effort and thought that went into the work." Let me repeat that again for those of you who might be not really fully paying attention to what this is all about. But here's again, the quote from Mark was, "When praise is sincere, timely, and specific, it can significantly enhance an individual's motivation and job satisfaction." It's not just about saying you did a good job, but it's about really seeing and appreciating the effort and the thought that went into the work. Well, of course, Frances was fascinated and enthralled. She'd always valued hard work and dedication, but she realized that she rarely took the time, just like I realized that I don't necessarily take the time to express her appreciation in meaningful ways. She decided to assess the situation in her own organization and put some of the insights and thoughts that Mark was sharing with her into practice. And here's how she did it. The very next day, Frances started a small, significant exercise. When her receptionist, Emily, managed to particularly challenge a patient with grace and patience, right? She handled this patient with grace and patience. Frances made a point to acknowledge it. She said to Emily, "Emily, I really appreciate how you managed that situation. Your calm and professional demeanor made a huge difference, and I really, really appreciate it." Well, of course, Emily's face lit up with a smile, and she said, "Thank you, Dr. Francis. That means a lot coming from you." Well, encouraged by these positive responses, Frances continued to find moments to offer authentic praise. She noticed how it not only boosted her team's morale, but it also made her more aware and appreciative. You see, she figured out that when she actually paid attention to the people who were doing the work day to day in her operation and in her practice, she began to understand and value that work even more. And so she began to share and do that. And this had a wide impact, right? This did not go unnoticed because at the next chamber meeting, she couldn't wait to go back and tell people what she's experienced. She'd be like, "Oh, this is so remarkable." She told them, "I've seen a noticeable increase in my team's motivation and overall workplace happiness." And this is just not just these big things that authentic praise happens, right? Even recognizing the small efforts have a huge impact, right? So we think sometimes, oh, if it's not big, then there's no reason for us to comment on it. But even those small, noticeable efforts, like a small efforts that you notice, make a big difference. Well, of course, the chamber members start buzzing, right? The story starts sparking discussions amongst the members about others' experiences and strategies for incorporating authentic praises into their workplace, and they started doing more back in their organizations, right? And it led to a point where even Mark, who originated this thought and idea, people began to go to him and say, "Oh, hey, Mark, tell us more about this, and how should we use this, and how can we work for this?" And over time, Frances found that practicing authentic praise had a profound and very personal effect on her. She felt more connected to her team, and her improved relationships with her staff led to more harmonious and efficient practice. She also noticed a shift in her interactions outside of work. Her friends and family commented always about how she seemed to be more present, more appreciative, more in the know, and more engaged, right? When you're a leader, you can create that. You create a sense of belonging with people around you. There was an evening after a particular fulfilling day of work where Frances reflected on her journey, and she realized that authentic praise wasn't just about boosting others, but it was also about enriching her own life and her own business and how she thought about her business. By genuinely recognizing and valuing the efforts of those around her, she cultivated a more positive and supportive environment, both at work, at home, everywhere she went. The legacy of Frances' achievements are tremendous for her community. She became known as not only a person that's about excellent orthodontic care, but also for creating and developing positive and supportive cultures around her. Patients often remarked on the friendly and motivated staff, and the word spread like wildfire throughout the community. Her story inspired others in the chamber and beyond to adopt similar practices. Frances even began hosting small group sessions to share her experience and strategies with other leaders in the community, helping others to see the transformative power of authentic praise. In the end, Frances learned the true art of leadership lies not just in achieving personal success, but in lifting others along the way. Authentic praise had become a cornerstone of her professional and personal life. And by making her not only a better orthodontist, but a better person. Now I want to share with you before we close and start looking for questions, the 4 core benefits of authentic praise. And in the future, next couple coming weeks, we're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this concept and its meaning and its value and how it can affect you more appropriately. But I'm just going to give you the overall 4 core benefits today, and let's talk a little bit about those benefits. As I was researching for the new updated versions of the RAPapproach, I found these 4 core benefits of authentic praise. There are many more benefits. We're going to talk about it later sessions. We're going to talk about these 4 first. The first benefit is it enhances self-esteem. The second benefit is it improves performance. The third benefit is it strengthens relationships. And the last benefit is it increases resilience. Self-esteem, performance, relationships, resilience. These are literally the 4 core benefits of getting it correct and doing it right with authentic praise. Then there's some rules about this. So we're going to cover these in the next couple coming weeks. But I want you to just truly drill into these core benefits and ask yourself as I explain them to you, what feels right about those to you? And how, if you had to choose one, which one would be the most important thing for you to choose to evaluate yourself if you were to embark upon a strategy to improve how you generate and leverage authentic praise. I got to warn you though, there's a reason why the word authentic is in front of praise. Because when your praise is not authentic, when it is not genuine, when it doesn't truly come from the heart, when it's not heartfelt, it doesn't really mean anything, and it will cause the opposite effects of what you're trying to generate and create in the environments that you play in. So be careful. This is not something that you can fake. And I'm never an advocate of faking it till you make it anyway, but this is something that you literally should not even try to pretend. You got to dig deep and find within yourself and others this energy to do this correctly. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is authentic praise enhances self-esteem. And here's a quote. We don't even know the author of this quote, but I love it. The only way to deal with this life meaningfully is to find your life's purpose and to pour all of your heart and soul and energy into it. The thing we can do most for others when you think about it is to help them be more connected to their purpose, to help them be more connected to their authenticity, what their meaning is. And in doing so, we help people feel good about themselves. We help them feel good about their capacity, their capabilities, their readiness. And then we're also doing a great deal of building their confidence in their abilities and their deeper self-respect. Authentic praise boosts self-esteem, especially in children and adolescents. When it's done well and it's genuine and it's specific, it helps individuals feel like they have value. It helps them understand that they're being recognized, they're being seen, they're being understood for their efforts and the achievements that they've made. They get closer to finding their purpose and they start to perform tasks that align with this purpose with a missionary like zeal. You want to get people excited about what they're doing? Give them that authentic praise and watch them bloom. Watch them get excited. Watch them truly focus even more on it because there's a continuing loop. We'll talk about that loop maybe later on today, maybe in a future session. But that loop of reciprocity and the back and forth between the giver and the receiver is amazing. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging the kind of authentic praise that helps others boost themselves and their self-esteem and their self-respect and their dignity, their pride in their work. All these things can come from it. And it doesn't matter whether you're a leader or an associate or even a subordinate. You can create a better environment with everybody you work with by learning these techniques that we'll share with you in the next couple of weeks. The second thing that happens with authentic praise is improved performance. People don't just feel good and are more focused, they actually improve their performance and how they do things. Here's another quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit, right? If you are gifted in something and everybody around you starts to remind you of your gifts, and they do it repeatedly, right? It becomes a part of you and you become a part of it. Whatever the habit is, whatever it is, and it becomes literally how you do what you do, who you are habitually. And because you're not gonna go, oh, I'm doing something well, people are praising me for it. Let me not repeat that. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna do it more, right? So the gift that we bring to one another, and when we give that authentic praise, encourages us to accomplish our tasks and function at the highest level. Studies have shown that authentic praise can lead to better performance in all kinds of tasks. When we receive genuine recognition, we are all more motivated to continue improving and striving for excellence. The more we develop these skills, adopt meaningful values, and experience massive character development, the more the cycle continues where we want to do more, be more, become more, strive more, work harder, think better, all the things that increase performance, all of it happens. And it can happen well when that praise is authentic and it's timely, right? It's regular. The third thing that authentic praise offers is strengthened relationships. Ayanna Van Zant says the way to achieve your own success is to be willing to help someone else get there first. What if all of your leaders became brilliant at helping you build and establish super solid relationships with them? What if they gave you everything you needed to know for them to trust you, for them to create faith and belief in you? What would we be willing to sacrifice? We be willing to do for the teams that we work on, the teams that we work in? If we knew we were going to be greeted and embraced with a positive and supportive environment where authentic praise was just flying around on a regular, consistent basis. How would that help to strengthen our relationships? How would that help to foster trust and mutual respect with our colleagues? You see, when this is done well, it creates what we call a positive feedback loop where both parties feel appreciated and valued by staying humble personally, but putting others and their gifts first and allowing them to toot your horn, allowing others to tell others and themselves how wonderful you are and what you do. And you're doing the same thing. So everybody's staying humble, but everybody's praising each other and everybody is benefiting from that authentic praise. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. The last, and I think one of the most important aspects of benefits of authentic praise is it increases everybody's resilience. Everybody becomes stronger. Everybody becomes more focused. Everybody becomes more resolute in what they're going to do and how they're going to work together. Maya Angelou says, I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. The world is out there and the world does not necessarily work to the best benefit of every individual who's in it. Our social environments are not always positive and supportive. They're not always there for us the way we need them to be there for us. But when we've had enough, we can be a force against those negative forces, those forces of doubt, fear, blame, shame. We could be the kind of people that generate hope, possibility, opportunity, and we can refuse that negative energy for our communities and for the people that we love, people that we get to work around and be around and be inspired by. How important is it to you to be that source of empowerment or inspiration to others? What can you do to increase your capacity to recover quickly from difficulties? Authentic praise can help individuals develop resilience by reinforcing their strengths and capabilities. This in turn helps them to cope better with challenges and setbacks. Who should you be offering a praise break to right now? Think about it. Who should you be purposefully allowing them to know the gift that they are to you in your life? I promise you, when you do this well and you get these things right, you're going to be magical. Now, in the next few weeks, we're going to go over not just the 4 core benefits in terms of execution, but other benefits and the rules, the spiritual guidance from many texts that you may have seen or heard from, depending on your spiritual bend, right? And we're also going to talk about the neurological effects of the praise game, right? How do you do it in a fun and interesting way? And how does it affect you emotionally and psychologically as you move through? We're going to look at this from the lens of emotional intelligence. We're going to look at this through the lens of social psychology. And we're going to talk about practical examples other than the Francis one that I just shared with you. And we're going to share all kinds of good stuff. If you have ideas, if you have thoughts about authentic praise and what it's meant to you, engage with us. Share your thoughts and ideas. Put your thoughts and ideas in the chat. Ask the questions that you want to ask throughout this next phase of our training and development with the RAPapproach. Don't keep your ideas to yourself, especially if they're positive and supportive ones. Share them. Share them liberally. Share them, on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you're looking, YouTube, wherever you're finding this content, wherever you are sharing this content from. And let's see what we can do to make this world a better place. Let's see what we can do to make you a game changer. when it comes to sharing and leveraging and giving authentic praise where it is well deserved to people who well deserve it. This is Coach Powell. This is Coffee Tea, You and Me. I'm going to sign off for today um, with this information, and I hope that you can embrace some of it. And if you can, I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Tell me what you thought about any parts of the content, any parts of authentic praise. When you think about it, where has it been useful to you as a tool for you to use, but also as the receiver of authentic praise in the past? Now, I know there's going to be a lot of discussion about, well, you know, do I want to blow somebody's up? Do I want to blow up somebody's spot? Do I want to make their head bigger? Do I want to um, improve, or I'm worried that their ego might somehow be negatively uh, grown? And those are things. Those are things that are genuine, that you genuinely should concern yourself with. That's why I talked to you earlier. It has to be authentic. It has to be specific. It has to be timeful, and it has to be on point. I mean, it has to work really well. So, again, we're gonna get into all this kind of stuff over future weeks. But think about it, reflect on it. If you have some questions or thoughts, put them in the chat. We'll be more than happy to answer and respond and deal with those things. And I loved having you guys here. For those of you who watched it, obviously you can watch this on demand. A lot of people do watch it on demand, and I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. As always, if you need any help, my number is scrolling across the screen. I love to work with you, love to talk to you about it. I've got some great programs that are available for people right now in various organizations for different reasons. But I want you all to have the greatest of New Year's, and I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. And I hope that you are blessed with, friends and associates and supporters and all that you need to make this 2025 the year that you thrive even better than last year or years before. Talk to you later. This is Coach Powell signing out. Good to see you guys.